We hope you enjoyed this audio only podcast. You can watch the full video versions of these episodes on our YouTube channel, All Things Unexplained, where we share visuals, documents, and extended discussions you won't hear anywhere else. Check it out at youtube.com/at All Things Unexplained. All right, Unexplained Ones, this is Dr. Mounts, and welcome back to All Things Unexplained. Remember, the best way you can support All Things Unexplained is by hitting the subscribe button and commenting down below on this video. Plus, that will enter you into all our giveaways, and I'll have more on that at the end of the video. In September of 2025, something crashed outside of Area 51. Friend of the show, Joerg Arnu, who operates the Dreamland Resort website and resides in Rachel, Nevada, decided to investigate. From our live podcast on November 12th, 2025, here's what he found.
First, we want to dive into this UAV crash near Area 51. Walk us through what happened and when.
We had some real excitement around Area 51. It's not every day that something falls out of the sky and lands on public land for everybody to see and to visit. And this is exactly what happened on the 23rd of September. What I'm doing normally is I'm recording radio traffic of Area 51, security and missions and so forth. And then in the morning, I have my cup of coffee and I'm listening to what happened the night before. And that's what I did on the 23rd of September. And to my amazement, I started hearing calls locking down the base. Something happened. Nobody leaves their post. And then very soon after that, and I can actually, if you like, play some audio of that. We had this is what was said. We have an asset go down. Now, an asset go down, that's an aircraft that went down. I got to say, there was a big mission going on over Area 51 that night. One of the biggest missions I've ever seen in that area. There was so many dissimilar aircraft involved. There was UAVs involved. There was jammers involved, tankers, big electronics assets. And it was one of the biggest missions I've ever seen. And all of a sudden, that mission was called off. There was a call, knock it off is usually a call. Okay, stop what you're doing, go to your home base, or go back to the safe area. From there, they're vectored to their home base. And so something had happened. And then security started talking about, we have an asset go down. Very shortly after that, it was a UAV unmanned with ordnance. Whoa, we had a UAV go down near Rachel with ordnance on board. Wow, I got to see this. So I get in my truck and, of course, drive out there to Tikaboo Valley, which is right next door, so to speak, to our valley, just going over Coyote Summit, about 20 miles. And I get to a roadblock. I'm driving up this road that I've driven down many times, and all of a sudden I'm looking at two armed guards with guns, not pointed at me, but very visibly presented. And a young man, one of the security guards, came up to me, very friendly, but also very firm, said, "Sir, you're going to have to turn back. You can't go any further." Okay, no problem. I don't want any trouble here. He didn't tell me what happened. He just said, "Okay, you can't go any further." This was in the middle of the valley, so the entire southern half of the valley was completely closed off. I tried to get to a different road. There was sheriff's vehicles there. There was security there, completely blocked off the area. So that confirmed what I heard on the radio. Something happened here in our valley. And what is it? They don't tell me. So it's got to be something that they don't want us to know about. I got to find out about this. And I don't know if it might help if I can actually share my screen here and show you some pictures of what happened.
It's giving Roswell vibes.
It is almost Roswell all over again. Other than, and I got to say this, from security, it sounded very clearly was one of ours. I mean, my group, we're concerned about technology, earthly technology at Area 51, to say
Yeah.
it that way. And it was one of those that crashed there. Let me see if I can do this. So which screen am I sharing?
Careful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be careful.
No,
We
it's
might
all
get a
good.
whole
It's
new
all
look
It
good.
will.
into
And if you
Joerg's
have
life here.
audio,
So this is me driving, a still photo of me driving up to security. I'm driving on Mailbox Road. Those familiar to the area might know what I'm talking about. I'm driving down Mailbox Road towards Groom Lake Road, about 10 miles from the perimeter of Area 51. And I'm looking at these two security guards here. As I get close, and I don't know if the audio is going to come through and show my reaction. I'm just going to play it. We'll see what happens here.
Gosh, this looks so much like where I grew up. It's
I don't know if you heard the audio with the
no.
video. Basically, my reaction is, "Oh crap, these guys mean business. I got to turn my camera
oh
off."
man,
They meant business. It was very clear that, whoa, okay, they don't want me to take any video here. Next thing I knew I did is I drove by Groom Lake Road, and since you can't hear the audio, I'm going to mute that. This is the top of Groom Lake Road, the road into Area 51 where it meets the highway. The road to Groom Lake Road goes off to the side, to Area 51 goes off to the side here. And normally there's nothing going on here. Now you see several vehicles here blocking the road, and you
Oh,
can even
yeah.
see a helicopter sitting on the side of the road. Some media outlets portrayed it they misunderstood my story. They said it was a black military helicopter. No, it's not. It's a regular helicopter, but it's sitting there, which is extremely unusual. And it has some kind of a contraption, a basket on the side. I suppose that they wanted to bring out sensitive material from that crash site to wherever it's being evaluated. So at this point, I know, whoa, something really big went on. Next thing you know, a day later or two, what is called a temporary flight restriction, a TFR, was issued for an area. This is Groom Lake Road here. This is a highway where I just in the previous video drove down on. And in this area, there's a flight restriction all of a sudden. That tells me where the crash happened, because of course the restriction is going to be right there where the crash happened. So now I know where the crash happened and what happened. Now I got to go on satellite images and try to find the crash site. And that's what I did next. Here's an image
Whoa.
taken on September 21st. I just looked very
Oh,
closely at satellite images from that area, and you see a little hill here. And then on the 24th, after the crash, all of a sudden you see a black mark down here. Well, a black mark, I know there was a fire. That's got to be it. So now I know where the crash is. Now I just got to be able to get to it. And a few days later, I drove by again. You can see there's still security vehicles blocking the road. So I went to a view spot, a little elevated, a little further away. And here I'm looking at, again, the intersection of Groom Lake Road and panning towards the crash site. And this is the first images of the actual crash site that I caught.
oh,
You can see a new road along here, along the foothills that they put in. And you can see a vehicle here. So there's obviously traffic on that road. And then if you go, let me pan a little further around here. It just keeps on going, and they put a good 2 or 3 mile road in it.
wow.
And then finally, okay, keep on going. You can do it. And here we are. This is the crash site right here.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is actually the area where they had the recovery crew, big vehicles, big machinery, and so forth. They had a tent up there, and for the recovery crew to come out of the sun for a while to cool off. And the actual crash site is a little further over right here. And I'm going to show you, don't worry, I'm going to show you better images of that. Or you can, I guess you can show the video that I did of that area. So at this point, the area is still completely closed off. I can't get anywhere near, but I know, okay, here's something going on and there's something going on back here. Let me see. I think I have a still that I can kind of zoom in. You can sort of see there's a pickup truck sitting here with a trailer. There's a tent here, and there's something over here.
Hmm.
And then there's something going on here. And you can actually see kind of dark
Yep.
colored ground. That's the crash site. That's where the fire was. So a drone crashed. They had a fire for about 4 or 5 hours. It crashed apparently with a lot of fuel. It burned for quite a while.
Wow.
And subsequently, on the 27th, I was able to get to the crash site and actually do a video. The first video I did, I was at the staging area that at first I thought was the crash site. And then a couple of days later, I went back and I found the actual crash site. And I think I sent you guys a link. I don't have that ready to play here, but if you
I've
have it
got it.
posted in,
Is it? I made it to the recent UAV crash site near Area 51.
the second link, which says something like the real crash site or the impact site or something like that.
Locating the impact point of the recent UAV crash.
Yes.
Near Area, okay.
Yes, I think that's it.
Yeah, I can pull that up if you want me to, Joerg.
Yeah, if you can maybe just skip through it and show people. Yeah, I don't have it ready here. People. I guess people can go to the link if you have it posted. Yeah, if you want to skip about halfway through, you can probably see the crash site itself.
Oh, and we have a
Yeah, well, we have a commercial. Okay.
commercial, of
You are
course.
you are nothing if not thorough. My goodness, everything that you
That's
found. I
true.
mean,
Well, thank you, and that's me. That's a German in me, I guess. So I took a Geiger counter out there. You can
Oh.
see. You don't know what crashed, so it might have been radioactive. So I took a Geiger counter. And there's me running around with a Geiger counter, and you can actually see on the right-hand side there. You can see a tree, a Joshua tree that is completely burned, and that bush that I'm walking up
yes.
to, that's a burned bush,
Oh.
and this whole area, that whole open area, is the crash site. So what they did is I took my first video and I published my first video, and they had already trucked all the stuff out from the crash site. They had already trucked it all out, but they were still worried about people going out there and finding stuff. So they came back in and they bulldozed the entire area and covered it with several inches of fresh dirt to where you can't even see anything on the ground anymore. The whole
Hmm.
area is completely covered with fresh dirt. And I took my metal detector out there, and this is all in this video. And with the metal detector, I was very quickly able to find metal pieces, fragments. If you go further through the video, you're going to see some of the stuff that I found there.
Oh, look
This
at
is a
that.
little piece of fiber material. I found metal, and here you can see some tracks of heavy equipment that sanitized the site. So they went through great length to cover up the site. And this is, you got to understand, they want people to believe that this was a predator drone, a run-of-the-mill predator drone that is really nothing out of the ordinary. I've been to other predator drone crash sites, and there are still pieces on the ground. In one crash site, there was actually still pieces hanging in the trees. They don't care about predators. What crashed here was a lot more than a predator. So that all these things together, and I've actually subsequently visited the crash site again with somebody who knows a little bit about aircraft design, and he found evidence that this was a drone designed for high altitude. So all this together tells me what crashed here is not anything run of the mill. This is something super secret. And I have security transmissions that if you can't pick up my audio from my desktop, I can't really play it. But that's basically say that we have an asset down, Area 51 security saying we have an asset down, not Creech has an Air Force, Creech Air Force Base has an asset down, but we, Area 51, have an asset down. And then shortly after the base went on lockdown, this is all in security radio traffic that I intercepted. Shortly after the base went on lockdown, there was 2 security patrols dispatched to meet with a certain major so-and-so, I'm not going to say the name, in a certain hangar at Area 51. Subsequently,
Oh.
these 2 patrols went out to the crash site. So it is very likely that this was security instructed on recovery procedures for this particular vehicle that crashed there. All this together, I'm 99% certain it was an aircraft out of FD1, something secret that crashed during a secret mission, possibly an integration of, they have these loyal wingman type drones, AI controlled drones that fly in connection with manned aircraft. AI does everything and they all happily talk to each other with AI and all that good stuff. And I think that's what crashed there that day.
I would love to hear that audio. Remember to check out the full version of our chat with Joerg Arnu on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@allthingsunexplained. All right, everybody, remember to comment down below. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. That will enter you into our giveaways. We've got a signed copy of Sharp Force by Patricia Cornwell to give away. We've got some Sasquatch Coffee Company goodies. Signed copies of Preparing to Survive in the Age of Collapse by Colonel Drew Miller, and some swag from Stephen King multiverse author Bev Vincent. All you have to do is subscribe and comment down below. Remember, everybody, take some time this week to get off your phone, get off your screens, get off your devices, go out into nature, spend some time in the woods, look up at the sky. You may not spot a UAV crashing, you may not hear a Sasquatch howl, but you might just find something even more important out there. That is yourself. Thanks, everybody.
I am here to discuss the so-called flying saucers.
We know now that in the early years of the 20th century, this world was being watched closely by intelligences greater than man's.
Did the CIA write Wind of Change by the Scorpions?
As humans busied themselves about the various concerns, they were scrutinized and studied.
Dr. Loeb, what percentage chance do you give it that you have indeed uncovered extraterrestrial or non-human technology?
With infinite complacence, people went about their affairs, yet across an immense ethereal gulf, intellects vast and unsympathetic drew their plans against us.
All of a sudden, a stick out of nowhere landed right in front of us, and there was no tree, nothing overhead. Something threw it at us.
Yeah. What's your hot take on Travis Taylor?
I've got an exclusive for you guys if you want it about the Alaska.
We do.
Okay.
Dr. Taylor was revealed to be the chief scientist of the UAP task force with the Pentagon.
All Things Unexplained.
So some of that, I think, sir, we'll save for closed session.